I always say to people that the second they walk into the studio, I just want them to just forget about the day and focus on what they're doing and just have fun and enjoy the music. And I believe in the power of dance.
Hello and welcome to Good Moves, a podcast by Punchpass. On our show, we have wholehearted conversations with fitness and yoga studio owners to learn more about the unique ways they run their business and inspiring ways they live their lives. I'm your host, Claire. I ran a thriving yoga studio for 8 years and have been part of the Punchpass team for almost as long. We have so much to learn from each other. Let's jump right in. Welcome to Good Moves, a podcast by Punchpass. We have the lovely Julia in with us today. Julia, can you just introduce yourself and tell us about what you do?
Sure. Thank you for having me. My name is Julia Gonzalez and I'm the director of a dance studio called Latino Grooves, which is based in Adelaide. We have been operating for about 16 years now.
Wow.
And we teach Latin dance and we also do a little bit of entertainment and events.
So 16 years, that's amazing. How long have you been a part of it for?
About 16.
Wow, incredible. So did you start out as a student or?
No, I jumped in pretty much straight away. The business was already existing. So I actually run it with, I have a business partner, Hugo. And he had started Latino Grooves and I jumped on board and it started off really, really small, literally, one night of classes a week.
Yeah.
We were working out of community centres and halls and whatnot. And it's just really grown over the years.
That's fantastic. And what have you found the last few years like for your business?
The last few years have been a little bit challenging, but also really positive and rewarding. And it's really made me realise that we have a wonderful community and very engaged group of people, and they've been really supportive. And it's like reinforced all the positives the last couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely. So you must have students that have been with you for a very long time as well. Yeah.
Yes.
So you've got students that would have been around from the original time.
Not quite, but we have, because 16 years is a really long time, especially for dancing.
Yeah.
But we do have a couple of students, I would say about a handful, that have been with us over 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And it's a really, really long time to be really consistent and dedicated, and especially with dancing. Yeah.
Do you find that they move around between the styles, or do people really find that one style that they love and roll with it?
A bit of both.
Yeah.
There are some people that do just love the one style, but then there are other people that really enjoy being versatile and do try. And I find that to be really good at something, you do kind of have to focus on it at one time. So in a student's lifespan, they might really focus on one style for a couple of years. And then once they feel pretty comfortable with that, then they'll incorporate another and they'll sort of swap over.
Yeah. So there's not a lot of crossover at the time, so people don't take 3 or 4 different styles
they
a
do.
week. They do.
Yeah, they do. I have some students that are there five days a week.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And just have been that consistent for a really long time.
Yes, like they love it. They love it. Yeah.
That's brilliant. So you must get a lot of beginners as well.
Yes, we do.
How do you love on your beginners, and do you find that they stick around, or?
We have a pretty good retention rate.
Yeah.
With the beginners, it's all about getting them to fall in love with dancing and Latin dancing and the music. So big emphasis on fun.
Yeah.
And really sort of teaching them how to learn and how to, we just really focus on the fundamentals.
So you just said is teaching them how to learn. What do you mean by that?
Well, breaking things down really, really slowly. You almost have to socialize people and how to behave in a dance class.
Interesting.
I find a lot of people aren't used to the concept of dancing with a lot of people.
Right.
And so just getting them comfortable. We do lots of fun things to ease people into it and getting them to like high five and hip hop, and then we rotate partners. We really encourage people to, just relax and feel comfortable with the idea that you might dance with 20 other people.
Yeah. So if you came with your best friend, you're going to have a moment where you're going to be on opposite sides of the room, just kind of making slightly desperate eye contact.
Yeah, absolutely.
Suddenly we're not together anymore, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's actually,
you're learning your own way.
I think it's better to rotate, but we do allow people to stay together if they really want to, because I do understand that if you have your partner and you've wanted to try dancing and that's something that you want to do with your partner or your friend, then that's absolutely okay as well.
Yeah. So how do you find that people find you? So where do you find your students, or where do
Social media.
Yeah.
We have quite a big following on our Facebook page
Yep.
and Instagram the last couple of years, and that's sort of where we focus a lot of our energies.
Yep.
Always posting videos and updates, but also word of mouth has been
Brilliant.
really key.
Yeah, amazing. Because you have such a beautiful website and you have beautiful social media.
Oh,
and I
thank
just think it's
you.
really, it looks like a fun place to be, like the way that it's all laid out. And you
Thank
do the
you.
events as well. And I imagine people would maybe experience you in that environment.
Yes.
Get caught up in a moment of this feels really good. I want to be a part of this, and then come and formalize and do some actual lessons. Is that
That's
something
right.
you see happening?
Yeah, the events and the dance studio do go hand in hand.
Yep.
We work at a lot of different events here in Adelaide. We used to do a weekly night, Wednesday nights at Casa Blah Blah.
Yeah.
And we would get all sorts of people walking in because that venue has a lot of foot traffic.
My mate loves that venue. She can't get enough
It's really
of it.
funky.
Yeah.
It's really funky. And so, yeah, a lot of people would have walked in hearing the music, going, what's going on here? And yeah, so we definitely do get a lot of people from all the different events we do around the city.
I think the music would really, I mean, it really grabs you. There's something really, really magical about it. I think that, I don't know, it's like nothing else when you get caught up in the moment of the music. Do you find people then when they come to dance and they have to sort of step back and go, oh, wait, I've got to learn the basics now? Is there a moment where they just kind of want to be set free? Or?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we encourage that. Like
Okay.
I personally, I mean, I have been doing this for over 20 years and I love the music.
Yep.
And no matter what kind of a day I've had, I could be really stressed or cranky or just tired. Within 20 minutes at
Yep.
the studio, my mood has completely shifted and the music has a lot to do with that.
Absolutely.
So for me as a teacher, I spend a lot of time updating my playlists
Yep.
and rotating music and making sure that I'm always playing like really fun and inspiring music.
Yeah, amazing. It makes such a huge difference. And I think it's really interesting in the yoga space as well, that sort of thing happens too, where people kind of get in the feeling, they get in the vibe, they get in the flow. And it's such a beautiful thing, I think. And to have it happen with the music as well it's just, I don't know, it's otherworldly, I think, sometimes. Like it really does take you to another place
agree.
where you're out of your regular life and
I agree.
you've gone somewhere else.
And that's something that I try really hard to provide for
Yeah.
our students and that the whole team does. And I always say to people that the second they walk into the studio, I just want them to just forget about the day
Yeah.
and focus on what they're doing and just have fun and enjoy the music. And
Yeah.
I really, I believe in the power of dance so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it changes people's lives and
Yeah.
I've seen it like year in, year out.
That's amazing. So were you a dancer from a little person?
Yes, I did dancing off and on. I didn't like really love it as a young child.
Yeah.
My mum did put me into dance classes and I did do it, but I don't remember really loving it. I think I was really, really timid as a kid, and I recall feeling just super overwhelmed. And then I got back into it as a teenager,
Okay.
and I just
Do you remember how you got back
Loved
into it? Because I'm always fascinated by those sort of origin stories, or that your life sort of goes off in a...
Yeah, I actually had a really close family friend called Annabelle, and she used to love to dance, and she was a few years older, and I used to always go to her house and we used to just dance for hours in her bedroom.
Yeah.
And then as I started going out to events, I remember seeing a dance couple called Jamie and Patricia, and they were dancers, or one of them still is, Latin Dance Australia at the time.
Okay.
And I saw them at an event in the city, and it just blew my mind.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow. And I even still remember what they were wearing and the music, and I just, I loved it. And I was about 15 at the time.
Yeah. So ready to take on new things and find new groups of
Yeah.
people to hang out with. And
Yeah.
so did you go all the way down that path to
Yes, I
the
did.
sequins and the
Yes.
whole
yes.
enchilada?
I got
Yeah.
right into it.
Amazing.
And my family were like, whoa. What's
So that was a departure for you. So that wasn't something they would have seen coming.
Don't think so. Yeah.
No?
Well, yes and no, because I used to, I now realize I was always drawn to music and dance
Yeah.
and costuming and the sequins and the bling.
Yeah.
And I used to always beg my mum to make me costumes and that sort of a thing.
my
But I was also so shy.
Right.
So yes and no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Does the shyness that you remember having help you with the shyness of people that now come in
absolutely.
to dance? How do you deal with them?
Yeah.
Like, what's your
Well,
technique?
I think I now realize I'm very introverted,
Yeah.
but I'm very confident.
That's a good way of looking at it. I like that.
Yeah, people mistake me for being an extrovert.
Yes.
They don't believe me when I say, no, I'm actually quite introverted.
Yeah, because when you're in your element.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing this for a really long time and I'm really passionate about it and I believe in it. And so I'm confident when I'm at the studio. But then I also do need like a lot of downtime to balance my energies and I work from home during the day and with my dog and it's just me and her and silence and I feel like I need to have very quiet days in order to be able to go to the studio and do what I do. But it also makes me very empathetic to people and and I think it takes so much courage to start something new.
Absolutely. And
especially when it's out of your comfort zone.
And quite a public new thing. I was thinking about this on the way in today, actually. I'm going surfing on Sunday and it's a very public thing to try for the first time, like out there in the world. And it's the same with a dance class or a yoga class. I mean, you can try baking biscuits for the first time in your kitchen and screw them up royally and no one will know. But there's those different stages of trying new things out in public and it's a huge thing. It's massive.
Huge thing. And I never take that for granted.
No.
So I always have so much empathy for people and that's why, being really welcoming is part of it. Big part of it.
And finding that balance, I think, between pulling them out of their shell and encouraging them to be more confident, but also respecting the fact that maybe they are really not up for that today and that they do need to be left in their shell. I found that when I was running a studio, it was a really fine line. You want to have everyone join a community and feel welcome and have a chat on their way in, but some people just want to get in, do their class and get out again. That's what they're comfortable doing.
100%. And that's why I feel like level 1 and level 2 sort of we are very like that. We just try and we always respect people's boundaries. But it's not until they get a little bit higher up in the levels where I think, okay, they're obviously really keen, they love it. And then I start, we can sort of start drawing them in a little bit more.
Totally.
Encourage the events, ask people to be part of things, but we don't really do that straight away.
Yeah, good call. And you run lots of series as well. So you run lots of courses where people sign up with the same people week after week.
Yes.
Do you find that helps them feel comfortable faster when they're in a group of people on the same level, I guess, for the most part? Is that helpful?
Yeah, definitely.
Studio? Yeah,
definitely. And I see them sort of having a chat to people in their class and then, I think it definitely makes a difference when a few other people continue on as well.
Yeah. And I'm fascinated by the idea, and this has come up with a few other guests before, of having a showcase.
Yes.
So as a grown-up person, rather than a 6-year-old doing a ballet class and having to put on a recital or something like that, I would imagine there are people who come and think that will never be them. Like, I'm not interested. I will never get up on stage. They all, every single one.
And then they end up doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have 2 showcases a year, mid-year and end of year. And it's basically, we just choreograph these really fun routines and get the students to perform them.
Oh, my God.
And the reason we do 2 a year, and that keeps us really busy, is because people just love it.
Really?
Yeah, they love it. They always say, oh, no, I can't do that. No, I don't really like the idea of performing.
Right.
And I always say, okay, no worries.
Yeah. So you leave it completely at that point. There's no thought of, I know better.
Yeah, no,
You're going to perform.
No,
I
say,
it.
no worries, all good. I mean, if you change your mind, let me know.
Mm-hmm.
And what usually happens is they come to the showcase, they see what it's about, and then they say to me, I think I want to do it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So I love it. The showcases, it basically, when you think about it as an adult, life is so busy and hectic and you've got so many responsibilities. Like, when do you get the opportunity to put on an amazing costume and, get your makeup done if you want and just like really enjoy the night, get on stage, do a couple of numbers, have your friends and family come and, they're so impressed.
Yeah.
And then afterwards we always hold like a little bit of an after party and they can have like a drink. It's an amazing experience.
Do you have people that are still worried up to them, like then they go back to the worried phase when they realise it's all real, or generally by the time they come around to the showcase, they're ready to go?
Oh, they're ready to go. Yeah? They're excited.
That's amazing.
They've had about, 16 to 20 hours of rehearsal plus all of their extra rehearsals. And I feel like we do a really good job of preparing them for it.
Okay.
Yeah, we get them to perform in front of each other. We have a couple of tech rehearsals, one at the studio on the Friday night and then one at the venue. We get them to perform for each other. So they're pumped.
Yeah.
They
they're
are pumped.
ready
Of course,
to go.
of course there are nerves.
Of course.
Always nerves, but they are absolutely pumped.
That's amazing. It must be such a brilliant feeling to come off the end of that and just be done with it and I guess ready for the next one. And I guess it's a really good way to get that retention as well.
Yeah. Look, some people are not into it 100%. There are people that only like coming, once a week, just doing their class, doing something different. Some people like the social aspect and some people like to perform and then even compete. We also train people for competition. So we have something for everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a really great way of keeping people very focused and always working towards a goal.
Yeah. Because otherwise you just can kind of get lost in the week to week and the skill level and things like that because it must be difficult to track the skill level of the students in the class and where they're progressing to, and your instructors would have to be fairly incredible at doing that.
Oh, they are. They do an amazing job. But yes, the showcase is a great way to keep everyone on track.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sort of measure where people are at.
Yeah, get them to a certain point.
Yeah.
So you have a big team of instructors. Where do you find them and how do you find managing them?
Most of our instructors were originally our students.
Yeah.
And I would say all of them.
Amazing.
We've had a couple that have come from other cities or other countries and obviously have experience and we've brought them on, but I would say 90% of them were our students.
That's amazing. So you really have that in-house feel where it's very, very consistent. Do you then put them through is there an in-house training program?
Yes.
So you then train them up to the point where they feel comfortable instructing?
That's right. Yeah, it's a long process and we're all still growing. I'm still growing. I am really big on personal development and, I consider myself a lifelong student.
Yep.
But so it takes about, I would say, a year to get them from that first point up to teaching a class. Mm-hmm. And then, they can all sort of choose where they want to specialize. Some really enjoy choreography.
Okay.
Some don't. So everyone kind of specializes in a different style and different functions.
Yeah.
And I think that is our success.
Absolutely.
Is our team.
Yeah, and they can work on what they're passionate about and the parts of the business that they're passionate about.
Yeah.
Do you tap them on the shoulder?
I do.
You do?
I do.
Yeah. Is that a pretty exciting moment?
It is. It's one of the things I enjoy the most.
Yeah.
I love my team. I live and die by teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah.
And I'm really passionate about having the right people around me because in the past, when you don't have enough people or the right people around you, you definitely feel the difference. Mm-hmm. And so when I identify students that I think have potential, I love that initial talk like, hey.
Oh my God, they must be so excited. I can only imagine what that would feel like.
Yeah, it is a huge honor. And the students are so supportive. Like they love watching someone rise and improve.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So do you try to stick with Latino
No,
because I know that you guys are big on, having the music and the dance and that side of things out in the world, but it's not an important thing that people are necessarily from that background.
Definitely not.
From a walk of life or anything like that. It's a good mix.
It's a good mix. I think you just need to have passion.
Yeah.
Dedication and consistency, and it's all about education. It's you definitely do not have to be Latino to be great at Latin dancing, not at all.
No.
I would say most are not.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what type of dance do you still dance yourself? Are you still in the zone?
I do. I love it. I love teaching. I love choreography. I love sort of the training aspect, developing the dancers. I love all dance. I love all styles, but my number one, my passion is salsa.
Has it always been salsa?
Always.
Yeah,
day
ever
one,
since.
Ever since, day one, have always loved it. And still growing, still working on my technique, still improving.
That's
I have much to
amazing.
learn still,
That's incredible. So you still have a strong practice, you still work on your own self?
Yes.
And do you require that of your instructors as well?
100%.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have to lead by example.
Yeah.
So I also do a lot of training myself, and I also find it really important to do something outside of dancing. So it could be yoga, could be Pilates, could be gym.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
You don't teach those at the studio at the moment though,
No.
so you don't give that cross training. So it's purely dance at your studio at the moment.
Yeah, purely dance.
And is this your
my full
job?
time? Yes.
Yeah, this is your thing?
Yes, this is my thing. Yeah.
What did you do before you did this?
Well, I've been doing this since yeah,
I guess so. Yeah.
really, really young. But I also have a marketing and communications background.
Beautiful. Yeah, no wonder everything looks great.
Oh, thank you. I did for a few years while the business was still quite small. I worked full time.
Yep.
And now that I think about it, I'm like, I recall being so tired. But yeah, I worked, and then it just got to a point where I had to make the choice.
Yep.
And I decided to go all in.
So did you take the business over from somebody else?
Oh, I have a business partner, Hugo. Yeah.
So it's been you two the whole time, but just not full time for that whole time.
That's right. Yeah. And Hugo focuses more on the events and entertainment. He's a DJ, he's a musician, and I, sort of take care of the dancing in the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've obviously grown it from something that was very small.
Very small.
Quite common, and then built it up to what it is now.
Yes.
So obviously we've had a couple of dodgy years where things have gone a bit funky, but people are sort of starting to get their head back in the game and thinking about what's next and being able to feel like they're on more solid ground. Do you have big plans for the future? Is it just doing what it does and doing it happily? Where are you at in terms of that side of things?
Look, I did have some plans and some vision prior to COVID happening, but we've had to reassess. The next 12 months are just about getting a good rhythm.
Yeah.
And enjoying things, which we are, and then we'll have a think about what happens. But I definitely have goals.
Yeah.
I would love to branch out into children.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I didn't see anything. You're not currently doing kids classes?
Not at the moment. We have done kids classes, but we were doing really young kids classes. And I personally don't love teaching really young children.
You've got to be passionate about teaching young children.
Yeah, you have to be passionate. And I really believe about doing only what you're passionate about. And look, we did give it a go and it was really cute, really fun. When you have, only certain hours in the day in certain studios.
Do you have one studio space? Or
yes, just
the one room. Yeah, that's really challenging.
One large room and one smaller room.
Okay.
So you kind of have to decide, what you're going to focus on. So we sort of took a break on that. But I would love to teach teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're a little bit older. Yeah. They're ready.
Well, you would have students now that have been with you for a while that are now having their own kids that they want to get into it. Or maybe gently encouraging them at least. You can't really tell a teenager what to do.
That's right.
But you can try. That would be amazing.
And we actually do have parents that often have to bring their kids.
Right.
And they're just waiting and watching and I see them get up and have a dance.
Do a little boogie.
Yeah, I'm thinking, look, so that's definitely in the works.
Yep.
I would say in the next 12 months, I have a dream about building the next generation.
Absolutely. Well, that's where you started.
Yeah.
Like that would be full circle for you. You would be the person that you needed.
That's right.
Back then, which is amazing.
And the education and the information that's available and all the techniques, they have improved so much in the last 20 years. So I think if we can get them at 15, 16, 13 even.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how good these dancers will be?
Yeah. And do you feel like you've got instructors at the moment who would be passionate about teaching?
Yes.
Because I think that's a whole, again, the younger kids, different skill set, teenagers, different skill set,
yes.
Yeah.
I have a couple of instructors that have like a jazz, contemporary ballet background.
Yeah.
So I think when teaching children, you would also need to give them some other styles,
Absolutely.
a bit of hip hop, things like that, to keep them interested. And I've got instructors that have taught children. I've got a couple that are school teachers.
Oh, perfect.
So I think that will be the next phase. I've also got lots of plans. I would love to sort of renovate the dance studio.
Yeah.
Been there for about 5 years now, needs a refresh, potentially open up a second space or something larger. So lots to do, but given, what's happened, I feel like the next 12 months will just be about getting back into the rhythm. Yeah.
I think anyone that's made it through the past 2 years as a small business is definitely to be applauded and celebrated.
Agree.
You would have had to close a few times at least. How did you manage that?
We were closed for about 5 months in 2020 and then we came back very slowly and we just had to adhere to all the different restrictions.
Yeah.
But it's been challenging.
Yeah.
But we're back and our passion for dance, has never wavered and we still made it work, and we just had to go online for a number of months.
I was going to say, you went online. So you did teach online classes consistently?
Did teach online, and that was a real learning curve.
Yep.
And it was great. And Punchpass was actually quite instrumental.
Awesome.
Helping. They provided, really like great resources. So I went online and, we taught some great classes, which are still sort of online.
Yeah, I saw that you've still got them there available to people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're happy just to share those and have people work on them at home and have a look at what you do.
And we have students that, sort of they bought the online pass, and some didn't even do the classes, but they did it as a way to support us.
Yeah, we saw that happen a lot, which was really gorgeous.
Really
because
sweet.
It was a tough time for everyone.
So what I've done is I've just uploaded all the videos, and there's quite a few, and they're all attached to people's accounts. So they've got that resource there for them. So as a way to say thank you, they can access all the videos.
That's awesome. So did you find it was mostly your existing students who joined you online, or so you never really did a big push and thought it was going to be a long-term thing?
No.
Or it was really just a way to keep things going in some way.
And to keep people connected and to keep them busy. Yeah, I know of a lot of people that did do that, that really tried to push externally, but for me, it was just a form of keeping in touch with our current student base and keeping them engaged.
And did you find they needed it for community? Because I know a lot of the yoga studios that did the same thing, that went online, found that almost the chats that they were having and that connection they were having before and after the lesson itself was almost, especially when areas were in total lockdowns and people were at home. Did you find that there was that sense of community coming out?
Absolutely.
As well?
Yeah, absolutely. And we also did a couple of online challenges.
Oh, beautiful.
So our instructors would record a choreography, and then people would have to upload it on Instagram. And we had so much fun with that.
Yeah, because that would be something you'd have to work on consistently to get right.
Yeah, and everyone was sort of, contacting each other and sending each other videos. And some people had so much fun with the videos and did some really creative things.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, so look, we had a lot of fun. And as soon as classes were back on in the studio, we abandoned the online.
Would that be something, though, I can see the challenges being a little add-on for your students? Even now, though, like I imagine taking that home and seeing if they can get a hold of the choreography would be amazing.
That's actually something else that I have on my to-do list to work on, is to have an online portal and even just have a summary of the classes and pop them online each week and film some extra choreographies or some combinations and pop them online as well. So that's definitely an area for growth. Yeah.
And you're quite happy to have people work on things on their own. There's no real concern about them injuring themselves or everything feels really safe.
Really safe. It's mainly footwork and body movement and technique.
Yeah.
Because that's the sort of thing that requires a lot of repetition.
Uh-huh.
And whilst I would love to do it for an hour, they wouldn't find it very engaging.
Oh, yeah.
So there's lots of exercises and drills and really simple, basic movements that they need to do at home. And we still need to do them.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you ever do that in a class environment? Do you ever go back to basics, or are people just, you do?
Yes.
Because
Yeah, so I find we go back to basics at an advanced level.
Okay, great.
Like in the student life, they stumble across dance or whatever discipline it is, and they're just getting their bearings. And then when they reach like an intermediate or above level, then they realize how important the fundamentals are.
Uh-huh.
And by that stage, they're committed. So they will stick around for a technique class.
Yeah, and they'll probably by that point really enjoy refining their movements.
Yes.
Whereas if you got them any earlier than that, they'd probably be a little bit grumpy, like, I know how to do this. Like,
That's
and I just
right.
want to feel the good feeling of getting in the rhythm and putting together what I've learned with the music and having that moment.
Exactly.
Because I imagine there's a fair bit of chasing of moments with dance where you want to feel competent, you want to feel capable, and like you're doing the thing that you've seen all these other amazing people doing.
That's right. I mean, we want to get them to first fall in love with it, really connect with the music, because if it's not something you've grown up listening to, it takes a while to, adjust your ear to it.
Absolutely.
Then we want people finding the flow, like just feeling in flow with it, and then we refine.
So that first lesson is really important. I know it is in a yoga context anyway, because you really feel like you have to grab them.
Yes.
You have to do enough of the basics that they feel safe and satisfied and happy, but you have to give them enough of the beautiful moments that they're looking for to keep them engaged.
Exactly.
And there's a fine line there, I think. And if you don't get it right, you lose them and they walk out, they go, it was too easy or it was too hard.
That's right. It is a fine line. Yeah.
Yeah, but it sounds like you guys have got it right, which is...
Yeah, I don't teach beginners at the moment, but our, instructors that do, they've got it spot on. Give them some laughs, lots of music.
Yeah.
And
I think there's a perception that teaching the advanced classes is harder, but
No,
actually
it's not.
it's really not, because they mostly know what they're doing, and in a
That's
lot of
right.
cases you're just providing guidance and refining and
That's right. You don't need to sort of like hold their hand as much.
Yeah.
They are quite independent by that stage, and I find beginners takes a lot more effort, time, skill, care, all of the above.
Do you have many people who just don't get it and get...
No,
No?
because everyone says, "Oh, I have 2 left feet. I'm
Yeah,
really bad." And
yeah.
it's like, well, give it a go. Like this is
absolutely.
what we do.
Yeah.
And I have seen the most awkward people. They're the ones that stick with it because they struggle with it, and then they are amazing.
Yeah.
So
They're the ones at the showcase in the sequins and ready to go.
I love an underdog.
Absolutely.
I
And I
love
love
an
the idea that
underdog,
these
yeah.
people are walking among us too.
Yeah.
You know, that on Saturday night they've been in the showcase in their sequins and their makeup, and then Sunday morning they're, I don't know, walking the beach at Grange or whatever it is, and just normal
That's right.
people.
Yeah,
and they've got this sort of secret life.
It's double life.
Yeah.
I love it as well. And we get all sorts of people, like all walks of life.
Yeah.
And you don't know who's a secret Latin dancer.
No, it's amazing. I love it. It's been so good to talk to you, Julia. Thank you so much for
you.
sharing a little bit about your business. It's been absolutely a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
And I really hope it just keeps building and growing in a way that is sustainable and makes you happy.
Oh, thank you so much.
If you'd like to learn more about any of the guests that we've featured on the show or about Punchpass, you can head to our website at punchpass.com.